Hi everyone. On this episode of Lost, Abandoned and Forgotten, we're bringing you the story of one of the most well-known and largest abandoned amusement parks in the United States that was devastated by a tragic natural disaster and has since remained that way for well over a decade since it closed. That park was Six Flags New Orleans and was damaged by high winds and flooding caused by Hurricane Katrina on August 29, 2005, and still remains standing, but has never reopened. When the park closed in August 2005 as the hurricane approached, it was presumed it would reopen a few days later, but it remains shuttered to this day. Now, it's an abandoned, grim, dilapidated, and creepy place with most of the rides and buildings still standing, but beyond repair or salvageability. So let's have a look at the history of the park, including that tragic day in August of 2005, the aftermath, and what became of the Six Flags New Orleans amusement park. The park sits on 140 acres of a low-lying area near the southeastern shore of Lake Pontchartrain, approximately 14 miles from the French Quarter tourist area in New Orleans. It is located near two former amusement parks that closed down in the 1960s and the 1980s, Lincoln Beach and Pontchartrain Beach Park. In the year 2000, a theme park was built on the site and began operations as Jazzland. It sought to build on the tradition and popularity established by the beloved Pontchartrain Beach Park. But the new park was beset with financial issues almost from the get-go. It was operated by Alpha Smart Parks, but owned by a Spanish company. The park was not profitable, as Alpha Smart Parks specialized in running water parks and smaller amusement arcade centers. Jazzland had been projected to draw 1 million people a year, but only 600,000 guests visited the park in its second year. In 2001, Six Flags bought the $135 million Jazzland out of bankruptcy protection for $22 million, although the park's name did not change that year. Critics of the park said that the park was ill-conceived and was built too far away from the French Quarter area and couldn't entice tourists to venture out to its far-flung location. In 2003, Six Flags upgraded the park and renamed it Six Flags New Orleans. Six Flags added more shaded areas and many new rides over the course of its 3 seasons before Katrina struck. The park adopted its theme and tagline, "It's Playtime," and used its massive marketing muscle to advertise and promote the park with the popular Mr. Six dancing old man character. The centerpiece of the park was its Batman-themed roller coaster ride, which was relocated from a defunct theme park in Japan. The park included a Main Street square and other themed areas with rides and attractions. An attached water park, whose admission would have been included in the ticket price, was in the planning stages in early 2005 and was going to be announced at the end of August just as Katrina struck, demonstrating a cruel irony by Mother Nature. Even with the Six Flag brand's marketing and capital investment strength, park attendance was mediocre at best and was not a top performer in the company's portfolio of nationwide locations. On Friday, August 26th, 2005, it became apparent that Hurricane Katrina would track directly toward the New Orleans area as it traveled north from the Gulf of Mexico. Six Flags canceled the weekend opening and evacuated the park property in preparation for the storm's arrival. It had planned to reopen the park after the storm had passed. On early Monday morning, August 29, 2005, Katrina took dead aim and slammed into the New Orleans area as a large Category 4 hurricane. Sustained winds were around 145 miles per hour in southeast Louisiana, and a tidal surge of between 7 to 16 feet of seawater that extended 6 miles inland inundated the area. During the storm, the drainage pumps in the low-lying Six Flags failed and left the park 4 to 7 feet underwater. Besides the flooding, the park received extensive wind damage to its rides, attractions, and buildings. The park was flooded for over a month after the storm, with most of the water receding. Some areas, though, are still underwater to this day. The park was inspected for a damage assessment and found to be over 80% destroyed beyond repair. Most of the rides were destroyed by long-term saltwater immersion and corrosion onset. Six Flags estimated the value of the assets destroyed by the storm at $32.5 million. Today, with inflation factored in, that figure would be around $41.2 million. The only large ride to escape relatively unscathed was the Batman the Ride roller coaster, due to its elevated station platform and corrosion-resistant support structure. The Batman roller coaster was eventually dismantled, refurbished, and relocated to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and renamed Goliath. Six Flags removed and refurbished other salvageable rides and relocated these to other amusement parks. Due to the extensive water and wind damage and Six Flags not receiving the funds needed to rebuild the park from insurance claims, the park was declared a total loss and closed indefinitely without any plans to reopen. To this day, the park property remains closed, with most of the rides and attractions still standing as they were after Katrina hit in 2005. There have been several proposals to repurpose the property over the years, such as a refurbished and expanded amusement park, an outlet mall, and a festival park. None of these have gone forward, and the site remains as it was. The park does see some occasional activity in that it is sometimes used as a film shoot location. The interior of the park lends itself to a creepy, post-apocalyptic vibe that looks great on film and saves production companies the cost of building expensive, similar-looking sets. Some of the films shot at the park include Killer Joe, Stolen, Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Jurassic World, and Deepwater Horizon. The video game Mafia 3 depicts a flooded amusement park called Baron Von Saturday's with some similarities to Six Flags New Orleans. The site also attracts many urban explorer adventurers who enter the park grounds and film the interior of the park to post on social media. The site is well known among the urbex community and caused the New Orleans police to heavily patrol the area and strictly enforce anti-trespassing laws and prosecute any violators who seek to venture into the park. In fact, many urban explorers now advise not to attempt to enter the park as it is certain they will be arrested. The park interior can be a dangerous place to be. There are alligators present on the property, and some teenagers were robbed at gunpoint in 2016 after breaking into the park. There are many photos and videos on social media of the post-Katrina park interior. It is a creepy, abandoned, devastated mess that appears well beyond any hope of rehabilitation. It seems, when examining its location, that it was an ill-advised endeavor to build on the site in the first place. As critics point out, it is located too far from the French Quarter tourist area and is built on low-lying land between the Gulf of Mexico and Lake Pontchartrain, once protected only by an earthen berm, some floodwater discharge pumps, and hopeful, fingers-crossed prayers that a hurricane wouldn't come along and do exactly what a hurricane came along and did. The Six Flags Company did intend to build a water park annex to Six Flags New Orleans in 2006. It was Mother Nature's cruel joke to get a jump on things and turn the entire park into a true water park by our own means.
Hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching. I'm your host, Jay Burton. If you liked the video, you'll love our channel. Please subscribe below. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram.